Hello everyone, and welcome to this latest review of Secret Invasion from Marvel. It is I, MintySquidz, and I'm not going to do the thing I did in the first episode. However, I will like to point out, yes, I am not wearing my jacket with pins today. It is incredibly hot in my recording room here, my room, and it's just really hot, so yeah. If you hear like a little like whirring in the background, that's my air conditioner being on, and it's just hot here. Anyway, Secret Invasion, that's what you're all here for. Secret Invasion, not me being really hot and not wearing a jacket. So yeah, Secret Invasion, new episode this week. It was fine. And as I did with the other reviews that I've been doing, won't go through completely like bit by bit, like scene by scene with the episode. Also, I don't really want to do like scene by scene, because I'll be honest, stuff happened in this episode, but not a lot happened in this episode, if that makes any sense. So we'll just get right into it. So this will be the non-spoiler section first, as I normally do. So non-spoilers here. And my overall thoughts of the episode were, it was fine. I am still enjoying the series. However, there's just some stuff with the series that I think is just more a Marvel issue at this point, being in phase 5 of Marvel, of the MCU. I feel like there's just some stuff in the overall presentation, overall plotline, stories, and the way that these stories are coming out now, that is just kind of getting to me in a way. Not necessarily in a bad way yet, but just the overall Marvel like story is just getting a little iffy for me in general. Now, that's not saying this episode isn't good. I still think the episode is good. I still like the idea of the show and where I hope they're going for it. It's just that there's some stuff now in the show that I'm like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. I don't know if it's just like over expectations on my own part, that I'm just like putting too much into wanting this show to be something that it isn't, or what. But we can get into that during the spoiler section. But overall thoughts, non-spoiler wise, is that it's a good episode. Everyone is acting their asses off for sure, and I love the fact that they're actually, acting. It's just I don't think there's much substance there for them to act with, I think, is ultimately what I'm getting at here. But the acting itself is great. The cinematography is great still. And the comic booky stuff I'm still kind of here for. Even if it's not necessarily working for me in the MCU way of the storyline, or the way of the universe, the MCU universe at this point. I don't think the storyline is necessarily fully working for that. But I do like the comic booky stuff, which we'll get into in the spoiler section. But that's my non-spoiler thoughts, is that episode's fine, episode's good, show's fine, show's good. Only episode 2, we got 6 episodes, so hopefully they can bring it back around a little bit by the end, but we'll get there. So that's the non-spoiler part. So on to the spoilers, on to the spoiler section. And overall, this episode is going to be a bit of a shorter review because I don't really have much to talk about here. So we're going to get spoilers right here. So spoilers, everyone, spoilers. Woo! 3, 2, 1, scrolls. So this episode deals with a lot of backstory. I guess the best way to put it is just a lot of backstory, history, and more context. I think it's the best way to put it. This was adding a lot more context to the overall Skrull Secret Invasion story, where we get a flashback to London 1996. We get to see young Nick Fury a year after the events of Captain Marvel, helping the Skrulls on Earth try to find their place on Earth. They all make a deal where they're like, hey, you just disguise yourself as humans and we'll find you a home. And that stuff. Also, I think this time as well, Fury also meets Gravik as well. Fury definitely meets Gravik at this time. But also, as we find out at the end of the episode, Fury's also married, I guess. That came out of nowhere. Fury's married to a Skrull, it appears. And I believe it's the same Skrull that introduced Gravik to him in the beginning of the episode. So that's an interesting, connection there. No idea where that came from or what that deal is, but I have a theory about Fury in general that I'll mention at the end. But we get that backstory, get that context of that, so we now know the connection between Fury and Gravik, which is good. That is a good thing to know. As we move on from there, Maria Hill, still dead. Still dead as far as we're aware. She's still dead. And we get the immediate aftermath of the terrorist attack, where we get Fury and Talos riding on a train, leaving Moscow. Really, honestly, we get a very awesomely acted scene between Ben Mendelsohn and Samuel L. Jackson, where Jackson Fury retells the story of him riding on trains as a kid with his mom, and they played a game where one of them had to basically say, tell me something I don't know about this, and then you basically would have to then say something that the other person doesn't know, and based on how you answer, you're kind of answering a lot more, which honestly, the best part about that is that because Fury is a super spy, you can't really be 100% sure if the story is accurate, if the story is true, or if this is just a primer to get the information that he wants from Talos in the next part of the conversation. So this story could very well might be a true story. Same thing with the story. I believe he says it in Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier about his father or grandfather being an elevator technician and carrying a gun in his lunchbox because he needed it. Not because he was going to use it, but because having it there meant that he was safe from having to use it. Don't know if the story is ever actually true or not. Don't know if it's actually a historical thing that happened to Fury, but it's there anyway. You can take it however you want to. Anyway, so they play this game, and we find out during this whole thing that Talos has actually been lying to Fury for a long time, and that there aren't just like pockets of like a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand of Skrulls on Earth. There's actually over 1 million Skrulls being refuged on Earth, and have been for years, and Fury didn't know about this. I'm not entirely sure if it was mentioned that this happened during the blip or during the snap era, or if this was actually from before then. I think it was from before then. And the reason why Talos never told Fury is because it seemed like Fury had abandoned them. It's like completely he left. And yeah, he was dealing with the Avengers stuff. He was dealing with all that stuff, as we know from the MCU. And then the snap happened, and he was just actually gone. So like, pretty sure Talos is like not not blaming Fury for just blipping out from what everyone else did. But beyond the other stuff, it's just like, yeah, Fury left. Carol left. They left them there. They didn't do anything. So at some point during that, Talos contacted the Skrulls and was like, hey, come to Earth. There's refuge here. We'll hide you here. And that's kind of what laid the groundwork for what's happening now with the secret invasion actually happening. Honestly, this is a great scene because based on both characters, you can kind of see where both of them are coming from. Where Talos felt betrayed and felt abandoned by Fury, by Carol, by S.H.I.E.L.D., by Earth, and was like, I'm taking this matters in my own hands. I need to help my people here. I'm going to help my people. And when you finally start actually helping us again, I'll let you know. We'll get them all out of here. And then from Fury's perspective, it's like, I was dealing with all of that. I have been trying to help just in my own unique Fury way, and you've been lying to me this whole time. I don't know how long you've been lying to me, and I don't know what else you've been lying to me about. So both of their perspectives 100% make sense for where they're at in their character journeys and in their story. Both make 100% sense, and it also makes 100% sense the fact that they are now, in a way, they are at odds with each other because they both feel completely betrayed by one another, which this whole episode is just dealing with Fury just taking a bunch of L's from people that he thought he was friends with, and I feel like that's just going to lead into Fury becoming full Fury again, which is cool. Like, we're gonna get to see full Fury. So that was a really, like, that whole train scene was just phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal. However, the next scene that we basically see is that we find out the Skrull Council is basically a bunch of different world and social and political leaders across the world. Yeah, that makes sense. There's definitely no subtext there at all. None at all. There's no like conspiracy subtext there at all that a bunch of world leaders have been taken over by shape-shifting aliens. That's no subtext there, Marvel. None at all. By the way, we find out that the Skrull Council is there. They have a lot of world leaders. They're not all on board with Gravik until they are, where Gravik then just performs a coup and just takes over the entire council by basically saying that, hey, yeah, the Skrulls are at war with the humans and we're going to take over the planet because we need a home and they abandoned us. So we're going to take over. And all the councils except for one member is on board with Gravik because they have to be, because they're basically being forced to it because it's a coup. And the one that isn't on board contacts Talos and is trying to set up a meeting between Talos, Gravik, and Gaia as well. And also Gaia's here too. I feel like, and this is a little bit later on as well, but I definitely feel like Gaia is somewhat of a double agent in this whole situation as well, where I think she was fully on Gravik's side, then she met with Talos, found out her mom's dead, went along with the with the terrorist attack plan. Wasn't sure it was going to go that way. It went that way. So I think she's like flip-flopping back and forth. I think she's ultimately the linchpin here for the whole Skrull plan on if she is on their side or on the side of Fury and the humans. It's going to be weird to see how that plays out, but she is incredibly important here. However, the next thing we get is a really great, very large scene, extended scene here with Rhodey. We actually get Rhodey in. Rhodey is here. Good old War Machine is back. He is some type of government liaison for the U.S. government, U.S. military. It's not confirmed what he is, but we saw him in the first episode talking to the president. So he's either Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, high-ranking, just a colonel in the military that the president trusts, because he's War Machine, something, we don't know. He's not given a title, but he's here. He's basically at this, like, trial for Fury, and is like, hey, Fury, we found some Russian CCTV footage of Fury at the bombings. We're gonna blame him, and does America have anything to do with this? And Rhodey is doing the perfect U.S. thing of just deflecting it all and being like, he's a private citizen of the U.S., and we can't really trust Russian CCTV footage here, so I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing here, basically. And, you know, perfect U.S. stuff of just deflecting. Makes perfect sense. However, this then leads to them, Fury and Rhodey having a conversation, like a little bar, like, restaurant area. And Rhodey basically tells Fury, like, hey, you're fired. Like, we're firing you because you are too much of a threat to diplomatic peace that we have as the U.S. And Fury does not take this well. At all. Does not take this well. Uses some definite things of, like, hey, I helped you get where you are. You kind of owe me for this. We kind of owe each other this. Like, I don't owe you anything because you're ruining a lot of things here by doing this. Which I do have a theory about all this as well. I don't think Rhodey is firing Fury out of spite or anything. I think Rhodey is actually trying to help Fury in the only way he can, which is a double-sided help thing of, I need to fire Fury so the U.S. can have plausible deniability of, like, hey, if Fury does anything, he's not one of us. We fired him. And also so that way then Fury doesn't have the red tape of the government on him anymore. So we can just go full Fury, possibly forming the Secret Warriors. That would make a lot of sense, actually, to do that for this. If it leads to some type of reunification of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show team, that would be really cool. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't think they will. Are they bringing back in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters? That'd be cool if we see Daisy Johnson again. That'd be really cool if we see Quake again. Would love to see Fitzsimmons. But, you know, beyond all that, that's just theories and hyperbole. And, hey, that'd be cool if they do it, but they're probably not. But, yeah, I do think that this is leading to Fury forming the Secret Warriors possibly, and now not having the red tape of the government behind, like, blocking him from all this stuff, so we can actually get full Fury. However, the biggest thing from this episode that I really, really liked, and this was the one part I'm still very much here for the show for, beyond anything else, I'm very much here for this, is that we got full confirmation now. Yes, the Skrulls are trying to build Super Skrull. They're trying to form and create the Super Skrull, which Super Skrull is a villain from the Fantastic Four comics. I am not a fan of the Fantastic Four. I don't really care about the Fantastic Four. However, everything around the Fantastic Four, really cool though. I really like a lot of that stuff. Super Skrull is one of those things where Super Skrull is a genetically modified Skrull that has the powers of the main Fantastic Four. And we see on this computer database that Gaia accesses that they have DNA from Groot, from a Frost Beast from Thor the Dark World. Like, wow, okay, calling out that movie again. Somehow that movie keeps coming back up as the most important thing of the MCU. Call Obsidian's arm from Infinity War that just got cut off, and some Extremis stuff from Iron Man 3. So, okay, cool, just bringing in all that stuff and back up into play, which is very cool. And looking it up, all of those do kind of correlate mainly to the Fantastic Four powers that we would see for the most part. Groot being Mr. Fantastic, the Frost Beast, I think being Invisible Woman with like ice force fields, it's close enough. Call Obsidian just being big muscular dude like the Thing, and then Extremis being Human Torch. So we're getting Super Skrull. We're getting Super Skrull somewhere. However, then it goes to some other stuff. We get a really great interrogation scene with Sonya interrogating a Skrull, and god damn, she is brutal. She is effective, very brutal. And yeah, we can definitely see why her and Fury got along really well, which is just cool. And Olivia Colman just knocking out of the park as per the usual when it comes to every actor in the show. Just they're all knocking out of the park completely. However, it finally ends with a big scene finding out that Fury is married to a Skrull. at some point. When this happened, I don't know. How long this happened, I don't know. What this means, I don't know. But that's how the episode ended, with Fury and his Skrull wife being together, and Fury just basically backing off everything. I don't think he fully is backing off everything. It's Fury we're talking about. This ain't gonna happen. But that's the episode, and I'm gonna leave this into spoilers as well, because it is definitely a spoiler thing. But I do have a theory that I've been building ever since the first episode. I said ever since the first episode. There's only 2 episodes in, but I do have a theory that I'm thinking is going on here. I think there are 2 different Nick Furies happening at one time. And I think there might have been 2 Furies for a long time. Now, it could just be because of the whole sake of the show, with Skrulls and Secret Invasion in general, but my theory is that there are 2 Furies. There is a Skrull Nick Fury, who has possibly been around for a while as like a decoy, like face Fury in a way. That might have been the one we've seen in the movies possibly, and that has been on Saber. I think that's been the Nick Fury. I don't think that Fury got snapped. I don't think Skrull Fury got snapped. Or Skrull Fury did get snapped. One of the 2. Either he did get snapped, and that's why he's referenced that he's like different or whatever, or he didn't get snapped and he was just on Saber the whole time. And then I think that there's another Fury that is the real Nick Fury, the one from the 90s, the one from First Avengers, although Winter Soldier. That Fury, I think, is the real Fury, and he's just doing some deep cover stuff and like full out Nick Fury spy stuff. And we haven't seen him yet, but that the reason why I have this theory now is that we keep getting references from other characters saying, Fury, you're acting different, or Fury, you're not acting the same, or Fury, there's something off about you. It's like something's just weird. And this also goes back to the first episode where Gravik told the other Skrulls, or it mentioned in passing, that there are some Skrulls who have been disguised as humans for so long that even they themselves don't realize they're Skrulls anymore. And that they are basically indistinguishable from humans and Skrulls. And that's a very weird thing to bring up if that isn't going to come into play at some point. And I'm not going to go full Mephisto theory here, like in WandaVision. It's weird the fact they dropped that line in the series about that. Like, literally about that. So, that's my theory, is that there are 2 Furies, one of them being the real Fury, one of them being Skrull, both of them overall being good. That's my theory. I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, don't know if that means anything, don't know if this theory is actually true or not. It just is really weird. We keep getting references to Fury being different, Fury acting different post-snap, which makes sense, and that we got the Skrulls themselves saying, hey, yeah, there's a thing that if a Skrull stays in disguise for long enough, they just kind of forget they're a Skrull. It's like, that's weird to mention. That's really weird to bring up. But either way, end of spoilers there. So overall, with these 2 episodes of Secret Invasion, I am enjoying the show. Mostly because I just enjoy these Marvel shows. I enjoy the comic book shows. I enjoy all of this type of stuff as well. I just enjoy this stuff just because it's enjoyable, and I like to watch them to, like, get away from things for a while and to see. However, there's just something about this series that is just rubbing me the wrong way, and I don't know what it is. And it's not even like the AI opening, because that's the thing. It's whatever. It happened. And that's more just an unfortunate timing situation more than anything. But there's just something about this show that just is throwing me off. I think it honestly is the fact that I put too high of expectations on it, hoping that it was going to be like the next Winter Soldier, next movie like Winter Soldier. It's ending up being a little more like Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I also thought was going to be the next Winter Soldier, and it kind of fizzled out in the end there. So it might be that. It might be just an overall disappointment in Marvel lately beyond Guardians 3. That Marvel just hasn't really been hitting on all cylinders lately, and they haven't been doing their stories the way that they used to do the stories, that that kind of stuff. It could just be some really not so subtle allegorical problems they're doing by having the Skrulls be refugees, but then also having them kind of be the bad guys here. And it's like there's some definite problematic real world issues there that there are definitely plenty of articles online you can read about that are just kind of interfering as well. And maybe it's because they also killed off, 2 really good reoccurring female characters in the first episode. One of them completely off screen, and fridged them just to progress the story along. And I really like Maria Hill, and even though Soren, Talos' wife, was a reoccurring character and a side character, it's the fact that they did that to begin with. It's like, okay, that's kind of shitty, but whatever. So I don't know. Just something feels off about the show. I don't don't really know how exactly to explain it. It just feels a little off. But I'm still going to keep watching the show, so I'm going to keep reviewing it, so don't worry about that, everyone. I'm going to keep being here watching every week. There's only 6 episodes, so we're almost halfway through the series already because it's a shortened series. That's just how it is. And I am excited to see where the series goes and to see hopefully it pick up a little bit and become a little bit more what I was kind of hoping it'd be. If it starts getting into like more of like the Marvel-y stuff like every other show, maybe I'll be still a little upset with it, but hopefully not. Hopefully it actually starts getting some of those like good like solo film kind of like roots back to it. Hopefully it does. Hopefully Marvel by the end of the series can like win me back by it. But I am still liking the show. Like, don't get me wrong, I am still liking the show, still very much loving the acting in the show. It's just there's something off about it, and I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's just something about it. It's just a little off. But either way, that's my review of Secret Invasion Episode 2, titled Promises. Let me know down in the comments as well what you think about this episode, and what do you think about the series going forward. Just all your thoughts about the MCU, like, in general. And what do you think about my Nick Fury theory? And what are your out there theories you have for the show as well, and for the MCU going forward past this? Let me know those theories. I want to hear them. When you hear those theories, I want to like talk about those theories and stuff. But either way, if you like the review as well, leave a little like. And as always, if you want to see more, subscribe as well. Definitely does help out. And until next time, right over here is going to be a playlist of another review series I'm doing right now for Star Trek Strange New World. Episodes of those have been phenomenal. I have loved every one of those, and you can keep watching those here. And over here is going to be a video that YouTube recommends for you as well, so go ahead and watch that too. And until next time, stay cool, everyone, because it is hot out there. It's summer. Stay cool. Stay cognizant of your Skrull friends. Keep up on your Skrull friends, and I will see you next time. Until then, peace, everyone. Peace.